You may or may not like cats, but we're going to draw and paint one today. I'm going to teach you how to draw this cute little illustration of potted plants and a sleeping little cat. Super simple. You're going to love it. It's pen and ink, wash, and some watercolors. Come join me. Let's sketch some really cute little pots. I'm thinking springtime pots of flowers. And to do that, you just draw a little rectangle. That's the top of your pot. And then you draw two lines that come down at an angle, and then kind of a curved base to the pot, and just keep your strokes really light and loose because we are going to watercolor this. Different sized pots are really fun. Another rectangle, sides that come down, a little curved angle for your pot. And I think it would be really fun to draw a little cat here that's sitting with the pots. Maybe it's curled up. So when I'm drawing and sketching, I like to think about things in shapes. So I know that when a cat is laying down, it has this curved shape like this. And maybe its head is resting down here. So I want another curve like this. And maybe the ears come over here like that. And it's sleeping, so it's got its little paw out. And maybe I'll draw its little eyes that are closed like this. I'm gonna erase that a little bit, but I want to make my eyes a little bit more so that you can see them. Okay, so it's resting its little head on its paw there, and his tail, maybe it comes out like this and down like that. So it's going to be flowers and a little cat sleeping. I think that's so cute. Okay, now we get to play around with some paint, and this will really bring it to life. I actually might even grab a pen and just kind of do a pen and then wash over top of this. So let's see what I can do. Okay, now I'm taking a micron pen. This is a 01 size point, and it's black. And I'm going to just sketch over top of my pencil marks. You keep this really loose and sketch-like. Ink and watercolor is a really nice combination. And if your hand is a little wobbly, that's perfect. No stress here. This is just for fun. Maybe a little card for someone you could turn it into. It's our little sleeping cat. Cute. Okay, now I'm going to grab my paints. I am erasing my pencil marks. One thing that's really nice about the micron pens, they are waterproof. So you can go over top of them with paint and water and it won't smear. Okay. So now I've got a little bit of yellow ochre here. This is what I'm using for these pots. And just kind of going wide with I'm pushing through with the belly of my brush. And I got some water on my brush, and then I dipped right into my paint that I already had ready. And it's nice to add a little more color variation by just letting that paint kind of move around where it wants to. And this is fun to play around with while it's wet. Okay. Now, let's see. think I will make this pot the same color. And see how I'm just washing it in, and it's okay if I go outside the lines. Just like that. Now my cat, I'm going to grab a little bit of Payne's Gray. It's going to be a nice gray cat. So I'm literally just painting him in a little bit there. I want to make sure the face is a little bit lighter in value, so I'm just going to go lightly over that so I can leave a little bit of white of the paper for the pink nose that I will add later on. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to a smaller brush so that I can do some plants in these. This right here is sap green. So I'm just going to take a little bit of sap green and start going back and forth with my brush to form a little bit of a plant coming up out of here. And see how I'm just creating these brush strokes just by pushing down and making this, you know, using the belly of the brush to just add those strokes. I like that pretty good. Okay, now this plant's going to be a little bit more twisty. Maybe the, you know, maybe it's viney and it kind of goes up like this. I really don't know what type of plants these are, but it's just for fun. So it can be made up. I would like some flowers on this one. So I'm going to add a little bit of pink, little blobs for flowers. Cute. Okay, I don't like how this is just one solid color. So I am going to dip straight into my sap green and get a thicker consistency on my brush so that I can define these leaves a little bit better. I do have another palette over here that I'm working from. So this is a fun one that my daughter made me. It's her handprint, which I thought was really sweet. So see how just adding a little bit of, you know, deeper color, it really makes that stand out and have volume. So it's not just so flat. Okay, something I think would be really cute too is to add some bricks to give this a little bit of interest in the background. So I am going to use a little bit of cadmium red. And it makes just a really nice orange brick color. And see how I've got my number 6 brush. And I'm just kind of drawing some nice bricks that are going to go in the background, just kind of varying the shape and kind of going in between these. So it gives it just a nice little illustrative background. I might even go in with another color, maybe even just this yellow ochre that we used for the pots to kind of tie in that. And see how I just slightly go in here really quick with my brush and just adding little bricks here and there. But it just shows that there's something behind them, so they're not just sitting on this white, boring surface. And I actually might add a little shadow under them. So I'm going to go in with some Payne's Gray again and just kind of swipe in a little shadow. I know the cat is gray, so maybe for the cat, I actually switch it up and use a little bit of this yellow ochre for a shadow, just so it's not all gray. But cute, isn't that so beautiful? And right here you could write something like hello, or how are you, or thinking of you, you know? And maybe these flowers just need a little bit more pop of color, so I'm going to dip straight into some color, so it just makes those stand out just a little bit more, like that. And the pots, maybe they look a little flat, so let's go back in with some straight color. And what I mean by straight colors, I mean I'm just dipping right into the palette. I'm not watering the color down very much. That way it gets thicker. There, that looks nice. And I forgot his little nose needs to be pink, so let's put a little bit of pink on his little nose right there. Maybe he needs some whiskers, so I got a little gray paint for some whiskers. How fun, isn't that? Okay, if you try it out, let me know. I'd love to see it.